all, respected teachers and my dearest friends. This is AKSHARA Arun of Standard 6 of RCPS Manappuram standing before you. Today I am here to present a review on a book which I read and I loved. There's no friend as loyal as a book, said Ernest Hemingway, a great and famous American novelist. Indeed, books can keep one company when there are no dear friends around. Although this pandemic caused much agitation and stress, it gave me a golden opportunity to sit down and read a plethora of fabulous books. This is one of the good things that came from this pandemic. Studies report regeneration on reading habit among the masses during lockdown. This is the perfect time to go to a nearby bookstall to pick up a book, with precautions of course, or aided by technology, you can download it from a website now. How times have changed. Out of all the books I read this year, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland was the most splendid and magical one. It is a notable 1865 children's story written by a British author, Charles Lewis Dodgson, better known by his pen name Lewis Carroll. Through the Looking Glass is the sequel of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. It is a perfect example for the literary nonsense genre. The characters you should look out for in the book are Alice, her sister, the White Rabbit, the Mouse, the Dodo, the Mad Hatter, the Queen and King of Hearts, and so on. The story begins as Alice and her sister sit beside a lake as her sister reads a book. Alice spots a white rabbit scampering off to its rabbit hole. Alice follows the rabbit and falls down. She meets many unusual creatures. She becomes larger or smaller by eating different things like cakes or mushrooms. She meets many anthropomorphic or human-like creatures. As an intellectual person, she tries to make sense of everything around her. She is even invited to a rather unconventional tea party by a very mad hatter who keeps teacups in his hat. Then she meets the Queen and King of Hearts, who is having a heated judgment on who stole the tarts. She dislikes them immediately. The story ends on Alice waking up near her sister, who becomes utterly baffled by her story. Alice's use of logic to examine the situation is what gives the story lasting popularity among adults as well as children. Its narrative, structure, characters, and imaginary have had a huge influence on the popular culture and literature, especially in the fantasy genre, so much so that Down the Rabbit Hole is a metaphor of adventures into the unknown. The thing about books is that they let you travel without moving your feet. And yes, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland took me to a universe where I could have never gone before. There's a little paragraph I have very much loved in this book, and I always want to read it to you. Are you fond of dogs? The mouse did not answer, so Alice went on eagerly. There's such a nice little dog near our house. I should like to show you. A little bright-eyed terrier, with such long curly brown hair. And it'll fetch things when you throw them, and it'll sit up and beg for its dinner and all sorts of things. I can't even remember half of them. And it belongs to a farmer, and he says it's so useful, it's worth 100 pounds. He says it kills all the rats and, oh dear, cried Alice in a sorrowful tone. I'm afraid I offended it again, for the mouse was swimming away from her as hard as it could go and making quite a commotion with the pool as it went. This is one of the paragraphs I liked in the book Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I would like to conclude my words by saying thank you to all of you who have been with me until now. And Alice's Adventures in Wonderland will always stay a testament of my strange youth, and will always have a place in my heart forevermore. Thank you.